You've committed to restoring trust between the Chicago Police Department and Chicagoans. How can Chicagoans trust the police to keep them safe if they refuse to get vaccinated or tested regularly, which you have said would put the health and safety of Chicagoans at risk?
I think that's a very good question, and I really think that that's what is at stake. It's legitimacy of local policing. And let me be clear about this. Our officers work their tails off every single day for our safety. Every single day. They run to danger. They put themselves in harm's way. They leave their houses every day and leave their families, with the families not knowing what's going to happen during the course of their tour and whether or not they're going to come back home safely. They're doing heroic work every single day, and we owe them a debt of gratitude for that. But the question is actually absolutely right. First responders, police, fire, EMTs, they are literally in physical contact with residents every single day. Those residents have a right to expect that those officers are not going to get them sick. Those firefighters or paramedics are not going to get them sick. And also with our other frontline workers that are out there every single day interacting with members of the public, residents have a right to know that City of Chicago employees take their health and their well-being as seriously as they take their own and that of their family members. That fundamentally is what this is all about, keeping people safe. And the safest way that we can do that when it comes to the virus is through the vaccine.
Eric Rung, WGN.
Sorry. Just a video that he had posted, the FOP posted just about a half hour ago. In it, he says, tells his officers, members, that they can't order you to do this. It's an illegal order. They can take us to court all they want.
Yeah, I heard that. And once again, I'm going to say what I said before. John Cantazara ruined his career by exactly that kind of attitude. He's been sanctioned over and over and over again. He's got a pending case right now in front of the police board. I do not want to see young officers who are doing heroic work follow his lead. If they do not abide by what is a lawful directive, and worse, if they are insubordinate or refuse to follow an order, that will ruin their career. It will be something that follows them forever, and there's no reason for that. John Cantazara is in the rearview mirror. What we're looking about is the here and the now and the future. He's yesterday's news. I want these officers to think about themselves, their families, and their careers. It's not worth following somebody who is leading them literally over a cliff with no parachute. It's foolish.
Stefano from the Sun-Times.
I think he's got one. I think he's got a follow-up question.
One more, and then I have to leave to go do a live shot, so
Okay.
I'm trying not to be rude here.
Right.
But so the next question would be, if they do follow him off that cliff, what does the city do?
There's plenty of opportunities for people not to do that. We're focused on making sure that we get people educated and that they comply. But obviously, if they do not, there's going to be accountability. We've talked about those, but I don't think that's appropriate right now. What we're emphasizing right now is getting our workforce fully vaccinated, or if they're opting for the temporary testing option, to just say that. It's very simple. It takes about 2 minutes to go on the website. Yes or no if you're vaccinated. If you are, your name, you put in your vaccination information, very straightforward. If the answer is no, either you've got a pending request for religious or medical exemption, or if you're going to take the testing option, you say that, you start testing Monday. Couldn't be more simple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Stefano from the Sun-Times.
From our friend Spielman, Catanzaro has said specifically this is not a job action and not a strike.
Yeah, he's wrong, and the court will determine that. He's wrong.
That he has directed.
He's wrong, and you know, with due respect to your colleague at the Sun-Times, John Cantazara says a lot of things. Most of what he says about these things is patently false or flat-out lies, or where he's just absolutely misguided.
There's more. That he's directed his members to report for duty and force the city to send them home, even if they have defied the vaccine mandate by refusing to report their vaccine status.
Yeah, he said that yesterday. Again, like I said, John Cantazara, yesterday's news. What we're focused on is our police force, making sure that those young officers understand what the actual facts are, not a bunch of nonsense spewed by a guy who's ruined his career and seems determined to try to bring a bunch of people down the trap with him.
So how then, Mayor, can you claim that in your request for an injunction that he is in fact encouraging an illegal strike that will endanger Chicago?
It is an illegal strike. He is encouraging officers to be insubordinate, not to follow directives, and he's predicting a 50% drop-off in police forces. It's pretty clear that what he's trying to do is foment an illegal strike and work stoppage, and we'll let the courts and the lawyers handle the rest of that.
All right, Craig Wall, ABC 7, to your far left.
Mayor, is this legal action like throwing gasoline on the fire, though, in this situation?
No, I don't think so. I think it's appropriate for us to have a definitive statement because Mr. Cantazara is doing something that violates the collective bargaining agreement, violates Illinois legal labor laws, and is, as I said, trying to foment an insurrection and act as if he's the person that's in charge of the police department instead of the superintendent and all of the exempt staff members. Telling officers to ignore their supervisors. Let's just think about that for a second. Officers that are out there on the street in tense situations, looking for leadership, making sure that we have supervisory support, and he's telling them, ignore your supervisors because I say so? A guy who's destroyed his police career? What will be the end of that? The end would be chaos. John Cantazara is yesterday's news, and we intend to fully litigate this matter and definitively answer the question. And what I'm urging officers to do is to not throw their careers away like he's done and follow this guy over the cliff without a parachute. He's wrong. He's lied to them over and over again, all through the labor negotiation. He repeatedly lied to the membership, and he's lying again now. And what he's doing is putting careers at risk, but more importantly, he's putting lives at risk. You heard the question from Heather Sharon. How can members of the public feel confident and feel any sense of legitimacy with our police department if they're acting in this way, if they're not willing to do what we're calling upon all residents to do, which is to protect themselves and their families and their neighborhoods and their city by getting the vaccine? It's real straightforward stuff. We need to get people fully vaccinated, pure and simple.
I guess the question about this legal action, is there going to be a court hearing today, and how quickly do you expect the judge?
The law department will decide that. Meanwhile, we move forward.
I mean, do you know if there is anything that is going to happen, excuse me, in court today?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not the lawyer handling the case. I'm sure the law department will provide an update. We filed the lawsuit last night. We sent it over to the lawyers for the FOP. We're asking for an immediate response from the court so we can get in court and make our case. But what the particulars are and logistics for today, I don't have those at my fingertips, but I'm confident the law department will be updating all of you. So if you choose to attend or want to follow along, you can do that.
Can I ask a follow-up? Okay.
Sure, of course.
In talking to some cops, they say their training, basic part of their training is to not back down when they have an aggressor coming at them, to not back down, and in fact, to go back even stronger.
But a basic part of their training also is to follow the chain of command. As a former law enforcement officer myself, the chain of command is paramount. Following the direction of their supervisors, following the direction of the ultimate leader of the department. So if they're telling you we don't back down, they're misguided in thinking about what their job is. Their job is to follow the orders of their supervisors and follow the directive of the city. The U.S. military has issued a directive that all of its members get vaccinated. So you mean to tell me that the Chicago Police Department and the individual members are going to be different than the military men and women that are also out there risking life and limb to protect this country's safety? Follow the directives. Follow the chain of command. And the chain of command has been very, very clear. Get vaccinated, sign up for the portal. If the testing option is what you choose, you have that available to you through the end of the year. But this notion that individual officers get to be insubordinate as they choose and pick and choose, we're not having that. And if that's the police department they want to be in, they should walk to another police department, because that is not going to happen in the city of Chicago and the police department. It's an honor to be a Chicago police officer, an honor. And anyone who says we get to do what we want when we want it, we get to have the kind of policing that we want when we want it, that has happened in our city for far too long, and that's why our residents don't trust the police. That's why we are in a consent decree. That kind of mindset. We're not having that anymore. This is a new day in the city of Chicago, and I expect the police officers to honor their oath, not tarnish their badge, and to follow lawful orders and directives as have been given to them.
Mayor, we're going to go to the back with Joni Lum from Fox News. Go ahead, Joni.
Hi, Mayor. So the city has filed a complaint for injunctive relief.
That's correct.
Could you please explain what that is,
Yes.
what the mechanics are, what you think the turnaround is, and what happens if the president of the FOP doesn't knock it off?
Well, let me take the mechanics. When you file a lawsuit and you're asking for a temporary restraining order, you have to make the case that there's an immediate emergency that requires a court action, because normally lawsuits are filed and they run their course. So a TRO is a special tool that is available under Illinois law and really laws all across the country. So it will be up to the judge then to read the pleadings. So what we filed is a complaint, a memorandum of law supporting that complaint, and an affidavit that was signed by Dr. Already. So the court will take a look at that, evaluate it, and then make a determination. And what I would predict, but I don't know that obviously, is that we'll hear from the court sometime today and a hearing will be set. And then it'll take its course.
One more question. There's a discussion among the rank and file in the fire department about noncompliance. Their numbers are pretty high. Is this something that you're aware of? Are you concerned about it? They haven't been as vocal as the police, but apparently they're talking amongst themselves.
Same applies for the fire. Same applies. Every city worker, every city department. We expect them to report their vaccination status today by 11:59 p.m. and we'll go from there. But everybody knows what the rules are. Everybody knows what the directive is. We've been communicating since August 25th when we first announced that we were going to have a vaccine mandate, and October 15th was the deadline. We've communicated with all of our workers repeatedly over the course of the last 2 weeks in particular to explain to them when the portal was open, what they need to do, what information. Commissioners are getting daily updates, and they too have been doing a yeoman's job in communicating with their employees about what to do, how to sign up. We've got folks going with iPads at remote locations, making sure that they're giving people the opportunity to come into compliance. So I feel like we have done what we need to do to make sure that we're communicating with our employees, to give them every opportunity to be in compliant, and I'm confident that the vast majority of them have already and will. We'll have numbers. I know the next question is going to be, tell us what the numbers look like. We'll have to clean up our data and make sure that we have accurate information, but we'll try to get that to you as soon as possible early next week.
Thank you, Mayor. That's a wrap, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.